Hi, this is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. Today I have this residential application. You can see we have this wooden structure here, and we have a dining table in the center, essentially, of the room. We have, you can see here, there's some wooden beams that are coming across this way here, and then of course the long wooden beams come across like that. So let's go ahead and look at some of what we can do here. First of all, let's go ahead and look at the dimensions. Outside edge of this beam to this beam. I think I have these at 6 by 6 beams, so I have this at 11 feet. And then the depth here I have at 18 feet 9 inches to the edge of this beam. I think this beam here is kind of sunken into the wall. I couldn't quite make out that, but that's not a big issue at all. So I started from on these cross members here. I started from the center of the beam, working my way in, and I have a 17-inch span, or excuse me, a 17.5-inch span between each one. So each one of these inside edge to inside edge is 17.5 inches, and that's going to be an important aspect of what I have to offer here. Height-wise, 8'6" to the top of this beam, and these, you can see these beams here, the cross members here, sit down about a couple inches, maybe 2 inches, maybe 3. So something else just to keep in mind as far as the height is concerned of the finished product. All right, so let me turn that off right now. You'll see some other dimensions here, but I'll give you some more information about that in a little bit. All right, so this would be an option for what they call the C model, the C4024, so 4,000 watt 240 volt. And if you placed them on the bottom of the beam, you can see that it's a 4-inch beam, so it's a 6-inch bracket, I believe. So it's a little larger than the beam itself. And then let's go ahead and look at the dimensions here. So I have that at center to center, 7 feet 2 inches, and that would match up with the distance between the beams. And of course we have the lamp here in the middle. The lamp, just to show, we have clearances below the heater. This is not an issue at that distance apart. Now I'm not sure of the exact dimensions of the lamp here, but that could be a little bit of an issue. I kind of doubt it, but it's something to keep in mind. We need 18 inches of clearance from this edge over to the left of it and all the way across, as you can see here in this display. So again, without an issue here. And also it's 36 inches down, just for your reference. Clearance above the heater is set at 6 inches of clearance. The bracket will maintain that 6 inches of clearance all the way around. So that would be how that looks there. Let's go ahead and look at the, oops, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and look at the ray. So you can see the footprint of heat would cover the space very nicely. And the center area has some nice crossover. That way, this is the least heated space right here in the middle. And when you have a crossover like that, then it kind of doubles up that heat, so it makes it more uniformal throughout that space. So, but yeah, we have a nice coverage with this application. All right, let me turn that ray off, turn this option off, and let's put some other units in here. So this would be a 4,000 watt Slimline unit. Now I've placed them between these beams here, obviously, but there's only one reason I can do that, and that's because of the dimensions of the Slimline. The clearance above and around the unit is 6 inches of clearance, and you can see with that 17.5 inch opening, I'm meeting that 6 inches of clearance, and I have about a ½ inch on each side that I can play around with, but I do have it centered. And then again, the dimensions apart from each other. You can see here I have it at 5 feet 4.5 inches, which is kind of close actually, but if I moved them outside, I would be more in that 8-foot realm, and I might not like that very much because my ray in the middle, like I showed you before, wouldn't be as strong or as much of a crossover. So I'm kind of giving this a better choice for the customer. Let's go ahead and look at the clearance below. So you can see the clearance below. I'm still meeting that clearance below the heater, and I think that would be still fine. Again, the diameter of this lamp might play a little bit of a issue, and the height of it might be a little bit of an issue, but I think this would be fine. Now, one important aspect of this is that the bottom of the heater must be at the same or below elevation of these beams up here. So you can see that I have this elevation right at the same elevation. You know, you might want to take a straight edge when you're installing it and just make sure that this edge is at the bottom of this edge here, so that way that you meet those clearances. If not, then you're going to this clearance here, whoops, sorry about that, this clearance that you see here is going to penetrate this beam, and you can't have that. So again, the top clearance is only 6 inches on the edges, and the bottom clearance is 18 from either side. All right, so let me just turn those two off. And footprint of heat, again, with that close proximity to each other, I'm getting a nice crossover here in the middle, so this would be a nice, warm, comfortable space for this type of application. All right. So just another, maybe a quick tip here. I have what I would call a block to support the heater, because obviously with the heater just suspended in midair, that doesn't work. So we need to have it fastened to something. And I wouldn't recommend a wooden beam, because this is actually, the bracket's actually a little bit higher than the tops of these beams here. So what I would recommend is maybe taking something like a tubular steel. You could, paint it out, kind of like I have here, and then either attach the, cut the edge and then just drill a couple holes into the bracket so it would support the heater. You can see that the bracket's typically made to hang off of a wall or a ceiling or something of that nature. There's a couple of holes here that you drill into those pieces of construction, but you might want to do something like this to where you can just kind of hide it and have it just so it suspends just right. I mean, this bracket doesn't have to go all the way to the edge. You can make it a little bit smaller and kind of have it so it's a little bit hidden, but yeah, you can see that it's not that big of a deal if you did something like that. So that'd be one tip. And then the other one would be that, if you were the type of person that wanted to have functions that would cause you to broaden this table seating area, then you might want to place another unit outside this edge here, or maybe closer to this edge here. We do have this doorway, that's why I left it open here, so you can see that. You do have this doorway that you want to make sure that we're not penetrating that 18 inches of clearance from here, so that might not work on this side. But if you wanted to just bring another unit out, the same distance away, so you're basically 1, 2, third one over, 1, 2, 3, this space right here, then you can possibly extend your dining situation here for additional seats. All right, I think that's all I have for you today on this one. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application, feel free to email us at support@patioheat.com. I'm Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and patioheat.com. A thumbs up would be great and lets us know that you're enjoying this and it's helping you and others out. And if you have a comment or question, feel free to put that in the comment section. We will try to answer those as soon as possible, and we appreciate all those comments as well. Thank you and have a great day.